Today, the topic is how to choose a book writing coach. There are a lot of book writing coaches out there these days, and how do you choose? Before I was published, I had hired all kinds of people to help me. Some were great, some weren't. I took classes, I worked one on one with people, I hired an editor at one point. And I want to share with you what I think is most important to think about from the other side. Now that I do have an editor and a relationship with a publisher, what I think is most important to think about as you consider hiring a coach. Number one is to check out their books. Book writing coaches are teaching you. They are like teachers plus. So they're teaching you to write as they're also helping you to finish your draft. You can think of it like you would a coach for a serious athlete. The coach is there for guidance and for accountability and to help the person recognize their strengths and lean into them while also working on their weaknesses. If you haven't checked out my episode on what a book writing coach does, I'll link to that so you can check that out. I go into more detail about what it actually looks like and what the goals are to work with a coach. But long story short, sports coaching, I think, is a good analogy. It's the same with writing. There are as many writing styles and approaches as there are authors. And until you know how someone writes and how you want to write, you don't know if you want them to be your guide. Because part of what they're going to be doing is teaching you. So basically, do you want to write like them? Genre doesn't matter so much, I would say. They don't need to write in the exact genre that you want to write, because I think those of us who are decent at writing can write across a range of genres, and what we end up writing is just what we choose to write. But you do want to like their writing, even if it's a genre in which you don't write or even read. If you don't like their writing in the sense that you respect it enough to want to emulate it to a certain extent, you don't want to hire them to coach you. All right, number two is to assess what you want out of a coach and research their method to see if it fits your needs. What do you want out of coaching? Accountability and guidance, and review of your pages. Do you want someone who can help you craft a query letter to literary agents, or do you just want someone to help you make your manuscript as strong as it can be, and then you'll take the publication, you'll take over seeking publication from there? There are just all kinds of book writing coaches, and while most of us offer a combination of these services, we do so in different and unique ways and under different pricing packages. For example, when I work one-on-one with clients, I read their pages. I read as many as they want to send whenever they want to send them. Some people come to me with a full draft or half a draft they want me to read so that I can make a plan for them. Others are starting from scratch. Most want me to hold them accountable to write a certain number of pages and send them to me per week, but not everyone does. So you should do your introspective work and your research into the particular coach to make sure that your expectations and your hopes align with their approach. And, I should have mentioned too, with the previous point, if you can't find this information on their website, if you can't find their writing on their website, just ask for it. I'm sure they would be happy to share it with you, and to tell you more about their process and their work, and really answer any questions that you may have. And finally, you want to look for social proof. Social proof just means what other people say about working with this person. When you need to buy new bed sheets, how do you buy them? You read the reviews, right? What do you do when you need to buy a coffee maker? You read the reviews. So you see where I'm going. There is no one better to speak to the experience of working with a particular book writing coach than someone who's done it already. Most coaches will have testimonials on their sites, and sometimes they're even video testimonials, so you can get a sense of the person's experience. I say that having never posted those myself. I only have text ones because I don't even know how you would begin to get those. But if you don't see testimonials on someone's website, just ask for a review from a current or past client, or even to speak with a current or past client. The coach can always say no if they aren't comfortable asking a client to speak with you, but at least you tried. Here's what I would not obsess over, though. I would not obsess over whether their clients, their former clients or current clients, have been published or not yet. It takes a long time to write a book and a really long time to wind a person's way through the publication process. And so much of that has to do with timing and luck, it has as much to do with that stuff as it does a quality manuscript. So publication is really out of the control of the writer to a certain extent. So I think if you become overly focused on that, you're paying attention to a metric that's going to mislead you, and it's just not useful. It's not as useful for you. It's not significant in the way that you're hoping it will be. And I'm saying that about the clients, former clients who have worked with this coach, not the coach themselves. I do think the coach that you choose should be published. I think that's an important, aspect of their success that they should be able to point to. What you do want to listen for when you're looking at client testimonials or testimonials of students, if they use that word to refer to themselves, is how the person describes working with the book coach. How did their work together shape the writer's process and style? What did they learn that they take or can later take forward into their subsequent writing projects? What was most valuable about the coaching experience? What was least helpful about the coaching experience? All of these are good questions to ask if you're actually able to speak to someone who has been through coaching already. In sum, just, do your homework. Do the kind of research you would do if you were buying a car. You don't just want to jump the gun when it comes to hiring a book writing coach. I really do think that working with a book writing coach can be a life-changing experience. Back before I had a book deal, I worked with two, each at different points, both of who changed my writing approach and style in a permanent way, and I'm forever grateful to both of them. There are loads of great book writing coaches out there. I like to think I am one, but I also personally know a number of others who are as well, just in different genres or from a different perspective. The key is just to find the right match for you, and you'll know it when you find it. Thanks for being here.